I've always been fascinated with finding odd and obscure corners of the internet, and I'm sure many others feel the same. In this video, I'll be taking you through a list of 4 strange websites and online rabbit holes. Some of these sites do contain contact information, and I'd just like to remind anyone watching to please be respectful and not contact anyone mentioned to harass them. Please let me know if you enjoyed watching and would like to see more videos like this, as I'd love to make it a series on this channel. The first internet rabbit hole I'd like to dive into today is that of Andrea Calabrese. She has a few different websites and profiles that will be pieced together, and we'll start with her website, leomatters.com. The homepage of the website shows that Andrea and Leonardo DiCaprio are born 3 days apart and that she and Leo are also married. Andrea also mentions that she and her mother have invested millions of dollars to make her the best actress in the world. She goes on to say that God not only wants her and Leo to be cast together in a movie, but that he demands that they have a child together. The link that says Dear Academy 1218 leads to a long section of text. This section begins with Andrea denouncing her detractors, including Leo's stepmother Peggy, who is referred to as criminally insane and an uneducated prostitute. Andrea says that she is constantly threatening us and threatening to harm other people's innocent kids just because we tell the truth about what God and Jesus designed between us. For a while, she describes her training and achievements in the acting field and how she was able to save up money to move to LA and live her dream of becoming an Academy Award-winning actress. She makes a point to mention that the reason she drove a taxi is because she wanted to avoid confrontations with married men, who she is against messing around with. It's unclear what the correlation is between the two. Towards the bottom, Andrea writes that she's been confronting Leo since 2008 about their 3-day relationship, which refers to the fact that they're born 3 days apart. She says that she's done this because it was designed by God and that she wants to move forward as friends. However, this has apparently resulted in immense suffering for Andrea. She claims that Leo has shown scientific negligence towards God and towards the truth of the relationship that they supposedly have together, and he's lied to and about her. She goes on to write that Leo needs to stop lying about me, stop stabbing me in the back, and stop stealing our returns on our investments by stealing roles that were written for me so he can be a fake hero for girls who didn't go to school and who aren't even from this country. He's supposed to be working to support Team USA, not some other country. Every movie since 2008 especially that he has distributed without being honest about the negative cause and effect that he is and has been having upon me and my career as a result of his lying and/or reckless disregard for the truth has hurt millions of people. Every movie that is miscast in an ongoing basis without Leonardo and I cast together at least once to guide each other in a good light and in good health has a negative cause and effect upon our production teams, our friends, our families, our communities, and upon society as a whole. In 2012, Andrea was concerned after the Aurora shootings and Sikh temple murders and decided to go to the police about Leo's supposed lies and ignorance for the truth. She claims that the police and the lawyer she hired told her that the next step in her career is for studio executives to offer her a role. She now refuses to leave Los Angeles unless she is working as an actress in major roles, and said that it is not acceptable that Leonardo DiCaprio keeps stabbing me in the back and hurting my friends and family because he has no education and may have dropped out of high school. She ends the section by claiming that being cast alongside Leo will supposedly restore their relationship, and they will then become lifelong friends. According to Andrea, God would not have chosen her to be born 3 days after Leo if she was not able to achieve success and end corruption. If you click Why Offer Me a Role, you'll see a section titled Please Offer Me a Speaking Role in a Studio Film. Here, Andrea reiterates some of her achievements, including supposedly helping with the minimum wage raise for supporting actors, helping Uber drivers get tips on the app, and being born 3 days after Leonardo DiCaprio and 3 days before Martin Scorsese, which indicates that they share a sacred holy trinity with God and Jesus for the safety of the USA. Andrea thinks that Martin and Leo were meant to be disciples of Jesus for me, in the movies, not goats of Satan. The section called For Leo is probably the most unhinged on the website. Here, Andrea addresses him directly. She tells him that she loves him and that he is obligated to have a baby with her. She then goes on to explain that she is entitled to speaking roles in blockbuster films because she has worked hard and she got straight A's in theater. At the end, she pleads with Leo by saying, "I didn't ask to be born 3 days after you. I didn't ask to be Italian. I didn't ask for you to be mean to me or to hurt my friends and family. I didn't ask to be hurt by you, or for you to stab me in the back or to disgrace me. I didn't ask you to lie to me or about me. It wasn't my choice for your people to steal from me or your family to lie to me. It wasn't my choice for you to be unfriendly or evil. Leo, idiots choose to be evil. You have a choice. The second coming of Jesus Christ with me, or the Armageddon with James Cameron and Kate Winslet. Please choose safety for the people. She then includes her address and a way for people to contact her by leaving their message with an email or phone number. Presumably, this is where she expects Leo to leave his information. If you click for Casting Director on the sidebar, you'll see text where Andrea describes why she would be perfect to co-star with Leo DiCaprio and star in other blockbuster films. She lists her achievements, which include being cast in The Nutcracker as an ice cream cone, graduating with a theater arts degree in 2008, and not doing drugs or sleeping with married men. She also links to her IMDb page where she is listed as an actress and a writer. Here you can find a list of all the roles she played and a trivia section which includes many of the same achievements listed on her website. The video of her demo role displayed on her IMDb is extremely strange and a bit disturbing to watch. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Andrea Calabrese, and I am an official book pal. What is this flesh? I purchased with my pants! Yeah. Benji stole. She stole money from my parents, from my schoolmates, from everybody.
From here, she also links to her LiveJournal account where she critiques plays and mentions that she is now a published author. There doesn't seem to be any mention of Leo here. Andrea also has 2 personal Twitter accounts. Both bios mention her 3-day apart connection with Leo, and they both seem relatively normal at first glance, with tweets about sports and current events. However, she continues to pepper in tweets about Leo and wanting speaking roles in Hollywood movies. In one tweet, she claims that Leo has cost her $41 million in artist rights. She has a 3rd Twitter account that's for her website, and it follows the exact same format of some current events and occasional tweets about Leo and the Holy Trinity. Andrea also has several accounts on Facebook. She's been making posts for several years to Leo fan pages where she discusses their destiny and how he is lying and betraying her. These posts have seemed to get little traction. I'd also like to mention that she runs numerous Instagram accounts where her pattern of normal posts intermixed with posts about Leo continue, as well as other posts where she addresses people like Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese, either pleading with them for roles or to contact Leo for her. These also continue up until the current day, and there are thousands of posts to sift through between the multiple accounts. I won't dig too deeply into her social media accounts because the amount of content is unbelievable over the 3 platforms. At this point, I'm sure it's obvious how deep this rabbit hole of obsession and delusion goes. Sadly, it seems that Andrea may never give up on her beliefs about Leo and her God-given destiny. It's not clear exactly how long she'll continue with these obsessive posts, but I sincerely hope that she's able to get help in the future. The next little rabbit hole I'd like to show you is stopabductions.com, aliensandchildren.org, and neurohat.org, run by the same person. We'll start with Stop Abductions. This website is run by a man named Michael Menkin, who is the inventor of the Thought Screen helmet. The helmet is a device that apparently stops the internal processing of alien telepathy by stimulating brain activity so the telepathy cannot be converted into human thoughts. Michael believes that his helmet has been almost 100% successful worldwide, with only 1 failed case since 1998. Unfortunately, he doesn't elaborate on what a failed case entails. According to Michael, it costs $45 to make one of these hats if you purchase Velostat by the yard. Velostat is a packaging material made of a polymeric foil that was impregnated with carbon black to make it electrically conductive. If you click on Getting Started, there are 2 links. The first one explains required skills and tools, which include scissors, a knife, and a highlighter. The materials section describes what's necessary to make the helmet, which includes a hat made of vinyl, rubber, or leather, and Velostat. Michael also has a section on where to obtain the most appropriate materials for the helmet and numerous links, should you be interested in making your own. Clicking on the assembly section will bring up 7 links with step-by-step instruction on how to create these hats. I won't read all these steps out to you as it's a very long and detailed process. If you click on Directions for Use, the link takes you to a section where Michael describes his expertise gathered from his claim of 21 years of working with alien abductees. He claims to have extensive knowledge on aliens, which is outlined in the telepathy, alien weaknesses, and intelligence sections. His directions for using the helmet are to prepare for a fight, have a locked cabinet, make the helmet quickly, secure it with a tape or a string, don't be lured out of your location by aliens, make a small hole in it if you're in a hot climate, and to wear it as often as possible. Michael claims that these directions are very important as aliens do not want you to wear the helmet, and they'll retaliate by doing things like killing your pet, manipulating your spouse into being angry with you, and stealing your helmet. If you take off your helmet, you may be at risk of abduction. He mentions that some people may feel dizzy or disoriented and should not wear it, and others who hear a buzzing noise need to properly ground themselves so that they can sleep in their helmets. There's also a section for case studies where Michael documents people's experiences with the helmets from 1999 to 2020. Many of the cases involve someone claiming to communicate with or be abducted by aliens. Some examples from this list include siblings whose autism was apparently cured by wearing the helmet for 12 years, and a man who had sores and pieces of what looked like glass come out of the skin on his head for a few days after wearing it. In the alien weaknesses section, he also mentions that a woman now wears a helmet after taking 1 gram of vitamin C every hour to kill 4 alien fetuses in her womb, and she has since had no more alien fetuses. Michael also has an extensive biography posted which includes achievements such as being one of the original writers of NASA Tech Briefs. His second website, neurohat.org, is also interesting. On this site, he explains his other invention, the Neurohat, which is a spin-off of his ThoughtScreen helmet that has apparently cured neurological diseases and helped with the healing of traumatic brain injuries. The Neurohat uses electrically conductive plastic inserted in a leather aviator hat or a custom-made denim hat. He's adamant that they are not alternative medicine. The healing process provided by the hats is a new medical discovery which needs documentation. Michael explains how they work by saying that the conductive plastic in the hat returns some of the brain's own electrical activity to the wearer in a possible feedback loop, which may cause a healing effect for some kinds of neurological disorders. This site has 5 case studies of people who have apparently had various ailments cured by the Neurohat. This includes a man who was cured of some of his blindness and a child who had her autism and mutism cured by consistent wearing of the hat. More info about the healing claims he makes is shown in the success section. Lastly, I'd like to show you his third website, aliensandchildren.org. This website is dedicated to Michael's belief that there's a connection between alien abductions and autism. He explains that autistic children were usually born to parents that had been abducted, or the children were abducted themselves. The aliens supposedly manipulate and telepathically control humans to abduct them, and modify their genomes before they bring them back to Earth. He believes that his ThoughtScreen helmets and neurohats can be used to cure autism, and explains this by saying that consistent use of the hat leads to the children remembering their abduction experiences, which then leads to behavior improvements. He uses the example of the previously mentioned autistic children who went from being considered hopelessly autistic to being able to get post-secondary education and work. Part of his evidence that there is a correlation between alien abduction and autism is the drawing of aliens made by children that are collected on the website. These apparently depict things like alien-human hybrids, which will be further explored soon. Clicking Why Aliens Abduct Humans leads you to a further explanation of why these abductions supposedly occur and their link to autism. Michael explains that, for years there were accounts of alien encounters where the aliens showed a little black box to humans. The aliens held up the box and pointed to it, then returned to their spacecraft and left. The box contains a live fetus of a hybrid which is part human and part alien. Showing the box is an act of triumph. The aliens plan to colonize the Earth with their new race and replace the human race. By showing the box, the aliens are demonstrating that they've succeeded in creating a replacement for the human race. After aliens take either sperm or eggs from humans depending on their sex, or in some cases, an alien hybrid baby, the human abductees are taken into large rooms in the alien spacecraft containing alien hybrid fetuses in tanks at different stages of development. There is one catch to the situation which the aliens do not realize. Some of the fetuses are autistic. The aliens are incompetent scientists and can't quite do what they're trying to do, so they continuously make trial and error attempts for their new creations, thus causing the epidemic of autism. In the Alien Abduction Explained section, Michael outlines how aliens take great efforts to hide their abductions so the humans do not catch on to them. He also claims that the aliens may implant their victims with a device that tracks their DNA or modifies the human genome, and mentions a doctor who has supposedly paved the way for the removal and analysis of these implants. At the bottom of the page, he again brings up the alien scientific failures in the section called The Enigma of Autism by claiming that severe autism may be due to brain defects in alien-human hybrids. He includes a photo of a man with Asperger's who was born without eyes and claims that it may be due to aliens trying to create hybrids with human eyes. Even further information on his beliefs about how autism and abduction are related can be found in the Cause of Autism Epidemic section. In summary, the aliens failed in their scientific efforts and accidentally sterilized themselves. As such, they need to create alien-human hybrids to maintain their culture and replace the human race. He has a few diagrams here that he claims explain this process. To stop the epidemic, Michael believes that we need to make a global effort to take the following steps. 1. Recognize that aliens from space are here. 2. Recognize what they're doing to us, especially children. 3. Educate the whole world about alien activity. 4. Stop alien abductions. The thought screen helmet is all we have. 5. Learn about how alien implants work and how to locate them in people. 6. Remove the implants from as many people as possible. 7. Assess the genetic damage to the global human population. And 8. Repair the damage the aliens did to the human genome for the whole human race. A first-hand account of someone who was apparently abducted can be found in the Adult Memories of Childhood link. This person's story claims that their life was ruined due to their abductions as they've been unable to hold down a job and they developed a disability. While researching, I also found Michael's Twitter accounts. Here he provides recent updates on his websites and hat production, as well as photos of his patients. He also posts his answers to questions about aliens and UFOs. If you'd like to try one of his hats, he's apparently offering them for free if you want to participate in a research project according to his Twitter. He's made and sent over 100 of them. Michael's websites, especially aliensandchildren.org, are extremely detailed, and I haven't covered every aspect as much of it is repeated and augmented in different sections. The most interesting aspect of these sites is how dedicated he is to his beliefs, to the point of having 3 detailed websites solely to display his thoughts on healing, aliens, and abduction prevention. The next website is michaelkelly.artofeurope.com, and it's more lighthearted than the others mentioned. When you visit this page, it just looks like a hard-to-read personal blog and has new posts up to the current year. You'll see posts about dreams the author Michael has had, movie ideas, and politics. The homepage doesn't have anything too strange on it. However, when you scroll down, you'll see numerous links under the books that Michael has available for purchase. These appear to be samples from his books. The weirdest in this list is Ulrich Haarburste. If you click this link, you'll be taken to a page called Ulli's Roy Orbison in Clingfilm website. The author, Ulrich, says that this page is for him to write stories about the singer Roy Orbison being wrapped in Clingfilm. He also requests these stories from others. The stories themselves are very bizarre to read. There's Roy in Clingfilm 1-5, Roy in Clingfilm Space, and Roy in Clingfilm Christmas. They usually revolve around a chance meeting between the author and the actor, and they always end as you would expect, with Roy being wrapped in Clingfilm. I would suggest taking a look at these stories for yourself on the page linked below. It doesn't stop there, though. You can also read haikus submitted by others and several other submitted stories of the same nature, including a Star Trek version and one written from the point of view of the plastic wrap that's around Roy Orbison. There's even an adventure game that you can play. I'm sure you can take a guess about the plot of the game based on the nature of the website. Again, if you're into this, I highly recommend you take a look at the website and read them for yourself. Ulrich has also written a 192-page novel titled Ulrich Haarburste's Novel of Roy Orbison in Clingfilm. The links on the website to purchase the book no longer work, but if anyone's interested, it can be found on several different websites. A YouTube channel called Frankie Porter also did a reading of the book, and if you'd like visuals, the channel Jack Russell made a video based on Ulrich's story. Both will be linked in the description. If you're wondering if this is some kind of strange fetish site, there's no real answer for that. Ulrich did an interview where he said the stories weren't exactly sexual, but they were sensual. The last website I'd like to explore with you is called LennonMurderTruth.com. This website was created by a man called Steve Lightfoot, who describes himself as a 100% pure American hero and instructs readers that what they may have heard about him is almost all jealous hogwash. Steve claims to have evidence that John Lennon was murdered by Stephen King, not Mark David Chapman, and that it was a political assassination ordered by Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. He's been piecing his theory together since 1982, and his goal is to have Stephen King jailed for murder. He describes his theory as the greatest story since Jesus Christ. Some people might also recognize these images of Steve's van, which he decorated with his evidence that Stephen King is the real killer of John Lennon. If you click Introduction on the top, you'll see the narrative that Steve presents, which he says is hidden within government codes and newspapers. The first piece of evidence are newspaper headlines that he believes hint that the assassination was a government setup. These hints seem like little more than coincidences. He also believes that Mark Chapman was a paid lookalike actor who was set up to mislead the public because his name was supposedly published in advance of the assassination. Again, this seems like a coincidence based on the evidence provided. Steve also claims that the infamous picture of John Lennon autographing his album for a fan hours before the same fan shot him is not Mark Chapman, but Stephen King, and the assassination was planned months in advance. If you click Stephen King's writings, you'll be taken to a page that contains excerpts from Stephen King books that supposedly allude to the crime before it happened. The evidence gathered from the novels include a plotline about a politician being stalked with a gun, and King naming the main character Johnny in the dead zone. On that same page, there's more supposed proof from a Stephen King interview in Playboy in 1983, where the closing words are, "It was Lennon and McCartney who said that all you need is love, and I would agree with that, as long as you keep the gators fed." Steve has also corresponded with Stephen King. The letter he got from Stephen King starts off with, "I didn't kill John Lennon, and I think you know that as well as I do." This was sent to him in 1992. There's also another letter which is from a Dennis C. Lee in 1984, which Steve claims is supposedly Stephen King's admission of guilt and also a threat to him. In this letter, the writer says that Steve hasn't got the whole story yet. The letter was supposedly hand-delivered to Steve inside of a book about David Chapman and was marked at a page where Chapman is offering money for the photo of him and John Lennon. Steve says that this is evidence that the letter was a bribe to get him to stop talking about the cover-up. He also mentions that 2 weeks after getting this letter, his father was killed in a plane crash on the anniversary of Richard Nixon's resignation. If you click on Footnotes and New Developments, you'll see a section of text where Steve asks for help against a government operation. Supposedly, he was nearly killed in suspicious vehicle accidents and was apparently set up by police to get in a driving accident. He's still providing updates as of October 19, 2020, when he posted an update of his ongoing court case. This website is certainly fascinating, and I again can't cover every aspect of it. I recommend diving in and taking a look at some of the links on the bottom of the Footnotes and New Development section, where you'll see notable titles like, "Is God a Jealous Perv?" Not all of these lead to anything, but for further reading, I'd recommend taking a look at "Obama Tried Twice to Kill Me," and "My Family Taught Me You're All Evil." I also wanted to include one fun website for everyone who's made it this far. KylePHX.com/Imgur is a random image generator of pictures uploaded to Imgur. It's really interesting to see the out-of-context photos, and I got a few good ones when I tried it. I encourage everyone to try this out, but please be warned that you'll probably see some not safe for work images. If you know of a strange or mysterious website that wasn't included in this video, please leave a comment. I love discovering weird and obscure websites, and if there's interest, I'd love to make this an ongoing series. Thank you for watching.